welcome to the making of Gascoigne, part 4. Okay. Gascoigne, ooh yeah, yeah, yeah. Gascoigne, doo boo, ba la ba, ba ba ba, ba ba. Okay, what you're hearing now is the title song, written and performed by Earl Grey. I wanted a kind of rootsy, bluesy vibe for the opening. Because the film's set out in the country, I wanted a kind of loose, open kind of song. What you're looking at as well is the image for the title of the movie, which, as you can see, is made up a whole lot of sheep bones. All these bones, like there's a jawbone, were found on the lake, on the lake bed of Lake George, after Kurt had set up the shot with the actors. I kind of got out of his hair and went for a walk, you know, just sort of a little bit further out back. And so as I walked around the lake bed, I kept picking these bones up and putting them in my pocket. Okay, just because I like finding things on the ground, and that kind of fits in with Rosalie Gascoigne, who the film is kind of based on. She was a woman artist who used to go around and find things on the ground, discarded things, rubbishy things, and then make, sculptural assemblages or wall-mounted sculptural paintings with. So it was kind of nice when I got back home, and all my pockets were full of these bones, and so it was kind of nice to sort of play around with them. And one day I was just sort of spelling out words, and before I knew it, I'd spelled out the actual title of the movie. And the incredible thing was, I only had about these many bones. I only picked up about this amount of bones that now live in a shoebox in my back shed. So I'm hoping to use this as a sort of the way that the movie's spelled. It's going to be kind of a project where we kind of get maybe some reverse film happening, so someone actually spells it out in reverse. So yeah, there it is. He's got gas, oh yeah. He's got that coin. Yeah, well, here's the man himself. I should introduce him as he's singing away there and beautifully there. There he is, the man himself, Mr Earl Grey. He's in a duo called Piper Grey. I highly recommend their album Apples. Fantastic songs, well sung. And they're with a friend called Greg Kruger, who may or may not be on Apples, but just letting you know, just give you a face to the musician that kindly wrote two songs for the movie, as well as perhaps some incidental music that we're going to use as well. So yeah, great tune, Earl, and even better lyrics. I wonder who wrote those lyrics, Earl. Fantastic. Okay, so we'll be thinking of you in the editing room. Okay, all right. And just a little bit of performance of the guys. That's what Earl does best. He just strums that old guitar, and I believe in musical parlance he's fretting a low note. How about that? That's how you fret a low note, kids. See, that's damn low. And there his mate there is adding his beautiful sweet voice to the whole thing. So if you're in California, if you're around Burbank or any of the cool little muso cafes around town, check him out. He's still got that coin in his pocket. He can't get rid of that coin. And the gas. And the gas. Gas coin. Gas coin. Yeah, so another one of the inspirations for the film was the Wim Wenders film Don't Come Knocking. which starred Sam Shepard and Jessica Lange. And they filmed it in a town called Butte in Montana, which is kind of, it was it looks like a sort of a Western industrial town, sort of long past its use-by date, which kind of reminded me very much of Goulburn, because you have these, you know, industrial buildings and great old banks. But it's such a small town. You'll be walking down past these beautiful old 19th century, you know, architecture, and then all of a sudden, at the end of the street, there's nothing. There's just a paddock, you know, and some hills. So I thought that made me realise that Goulburn was, you know, could be used just as a film set. You could just walk into Goulburn and go down a few great streets, and it's like a, you know, someone's made a kind of a time capsule, a kind of a film set. So you know, that was a really good sort of gave me a good confident feeling that, you know, it wouldn't be hard to sort of scout locations, and then of course Kurt, who by the way has been to Butte, Montana in his travels. He's been everywhere. Kurt and I discovered Kenmore, which is again is another world of itself. You know, world in a world. A whole kind of a town of little buildings, or just servicing, you know, the colonial insane. So yeah, so this is just another kind of little detail that sort of added to the story, or just gave me an inspiration to sort of film it around sort of the old parts, the old seedy, raggedy parts of Goulburn. Okay, this sweet song by Earl is the song for the end credits. It's a really cool narrative kind of song, inspired by Rosalie Gascoigne and what she got up to. And here's a shot of the boys out on the lake. Kurt just setting up the shot, Ken, our sound guy, and Johnny and Goran. So that was like, it was just windy, wild days, just us on the lake, finding things, finding good performances, you know, finding bones on the ground, but a good sense of camaraderie developed. She walks outside of town. Rosalie, she walks outside of town. I love singing along to Earl. You know, because I mean Earl always sings, you know, the right pitch, the right key, all that kind of stuff. I like to mix it up a little bit. But he's the go-to man for a great narrative song. Oh, take it away, Earl. Okay, so there's the man. Is he going to find what he needs to find out? That's the question. Yeah, this was a fun improvisational thing, because like, you know, John's leading Goran around the lake, but, you know, tied together by rope. You know, and they're kind of, John's just happy to be out of prison, and Goran's kind of, you know, hoping that, you know, John can find the tracks. And there wasn't that much, you know, they were getting a bit too matey, so I wanted to get a bit of tension in there, and nothing provokes more tension than a good old-fashioned tug-of-war, you know, man on man. So, yeah. So that kind of worked out well.